Hello all, welcome to Quantifiers. I hope you all are in best of your health and working hard for your exams. Now, today we will going to learn another important concept related to verbal reasoning, that is cause and effect, assertion and reasons, and facts, inferences, and judgments, which are typically known as FIJs. I hope you have watched previous videos on verbal reasoning, and to continue the streaks of our session on verbal reasoning, this is another interesting video or the topics that we will going to learn today. So far, let's do a quick recap of whatever we have done so far. So far we have done the questions on assumptions. We have done the questions based on conclusion. We have done on strong and weak arguments. So I'll just write strong arguments here, okay? And the last topic that we covered in the previous video was related to course of action. Now today we're going to learn the another important concept of verbal reasoning, that is assertion and reasoning. So generally the verbal reasoning, in case if I'm going to just limit myself to the verbal reasoning, it comprises of 6 topics, out of which the 4 we have done in the previous video, and this is the 5th topic. Now, assertion and a reason is typically a different type of a question format, which is not the same as whatever we have done in the case of the conclusion, in the case of assumption, right? So we need to see the instructions carefully. But before that, let's understand what are the assertion. So assertion, you can say it's a simple fact that is given to you, which has a logic in it, okay? And reason, of course, tell you that why this particular fact is true, or why is this, or what is the reason for this fact to exist, right? Now let's read the instructions carefully. Now, how to solve this? Now, there will be 2 statements that will be given to you in the case of the assertion and a reason question. One is an assertion and another is a reason. So there is a statement assertion and there is a statement reason, right? Now, for example, let's say it says that in case of scurvy, eat oranges, right? Now, this is a fact, okay? In case of scurvy, eat oranges. Now, there's a reason that is given. Oranges have vitamin C in them, right? Suppose. So, there are these 2 kinds of a statement. One is an assertion and another is a reason. Now, let's see how to pick up the option. The first, the foremost thing that you need to do in the case of the assertion and a reason question is to see whether A and R are true or false. Okay. So you need to see, first of all, you need to check whether the assertion, that is in case of scurvy, eat oranges, is it true or false? So is it true? Yeah. Now let's see the reason. Is it true or is it wrong? So oranges have vitamin C in them. Is it true or is it false? This is true, right? So suppose you have both the assertion and a reason as true, then the answer lies between the option number 1 and an option number 2. That is both A and R are true, both A and R are true, okay? Now what happen in case if any of the one, if either A or the R is wrong, then the answer lies between the option number 3, 4 and 5. A is true, but R is false. A is false, but R is true. Both A and R are false. So I hope this is clear. Now let's see from the options number 1 and 2. Now, in case of both A and R are true, then what is the differentiation between the option 1 and option number 2? That R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. In case of scurvy, eat oranges. So why you should eat oranges? Is this the reason that you should eat oranges? So what is scurvy? Scurvy is actually a deficiency of vitamin C. Okay. Now, oranges have vitamin C in them, so you have deficiency of vitamin C. So what needs to be done next is to eat something that has vitamin C in it, right? So both here, the correct answer then in this case is both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A, because here oranges have vitamin C in them. This is the correct explanation that why you should eat oranges in the case of in this case of scurvy, that is a vitamin C deficiency, right? Now, I hope with this example, this topic and the options types are clear to you. But the one thing that you need to understand is that the assertion and a reason, other than testing your verbal and a reasoning skills, it's also test your general awareness skills. Okay. So you need to see that in case, if the first and the foremost thing that you need to do in the case of the assertion and a reason is to see that whether you know that the A is true or false, or R is true or false. In case if you're not aware of them, then I would say that rather than making a calculative guess, you should actually skip this question and avoid your negative marking. But yes, for those kinds of the exams where you don't have any kind of the negative marking, you can go ahead with it. So let's solve a couple of the questions based on this particular thing. So let's see the very first question. I hope you remember the instructions, or you can always pause the video and you can go back to the options. Now, appendix is a vestigial organ in human body. So here a little bit of the vocabulary comes into the picture that you should know the meaning of the vestigial, right? So vestigial is something which is rudimentary, or you can say something which has become functionless in the course of evolution. So appendix is a vestigial organ in human body. Is it right or is it wrong? It's correct. Okay, that is the reason that you have appendicitis operation and appendix is being removed. Yeah, and it does not participate in digestion. Is this correct or not? Yes, this is also true. Okay, and is this the reason? Yes, this is the reason that why appendix is the rudimentary organ in a human body, because it does not participate in digestion. Okay, so here the answer is in option 1, that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. And of course, a little bit of the biology comes into the picture, right? Now, Himalayas once lay under the sea. What is your take? Is it true or false? You'll be surprised to know that this is actually the true statement. Yeah. Fossils of marine creatures are traced on the Himalayas. This is also true. And because the fossils of the marine creatures were traced on the Himalayas, so the scientists later on, or the geologists later on, figure out that the Himalayas once lay under the sea. So again here, the answer is in option 1, that both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. Let's see the third one. An atom is neutral despite the charged particles in it. So a little bit of the science. Yes, this is true. Okay, so it is neutral despite the charged particles in it. The neutrons do not have any charge. This is also true. But is this the correct reason? Is this the correct reason that why atom is neutral? So this is not actually the correct reason. Okay, so here both the A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Hence the answer is your option 2. Okay, so why atom is neutral? So atom is neutral because it contains the positively charged protons and then an equal number of negatively charged electrons. Since the positive and the negatively protons and the electrons respectively are equal, so it is neutral, not because that the neutrons do not have any charge. Okay, now let's see this fourth one. It was under a little bit controversy when it actually came the exam, but then they gave the explanation for it. So clothes are not washed properly in hard water. This is true. This is correct. Okay, hard water contains many minerals. Yes, this is true. It contains magnesium, calcium, so other minerals. Okay, now, is this the correct reason? So, hard water contains many minerals. Is this the reason that the clothes are not washed properly in hard water? So, here the A is true, R is true, but again the R is not the correct explanation of A, because clothes are not washed properly in hard water because it does not form leather with soap. Okay. However, it is true that hard water contains many minerals, and due to some of the minerals, which is calcium and magnesium, it does not lather, but then it talks about many minerals. It is not just limiting to calcium or magnesium only. So that is the reason that it is not the correct explanation of reason of A. Now, Mahatma Gandhi is considered as the father of nation in India, and it's very simple. Okay, so this is true. Mahatma Gandhi was the first Governor General of independent India. No, okay, not Mountbatten, I suppose. Okay, so that is the case. So here the answer is A is true, but R is false. Okay. So I hope with this, you are getting the point on assertion and reason, and you are able to understand this particular question type. But again, yeah, your general awareness will definitely come into the picture when we talk about the questions based on assertion and reason. Now let's see, this is an interesting one. The escape velocity from the surface of the moon is less than that from the Earth's surface. This is true. Okay. Now, in case if you're not a geologist kind of a student, okay, then it becomes slightly tricky for you to figure out. And the moon has no atmosphere. This is also true. Okay, so an escape velocity actually depends on the acceleration due to the gravity. Okay, so it's basically the gravity that plays a vital role. So escape velocity depends on the acceleration, I would say, due to gravity. So escape velocity of the moon is less than the escape velocity of the Earth. Okay, and due to the less escape velocity, the gas molecules, okay, so the gas molecules easily escaped from the planet as it becomes less than that root mean square, or RMS generally termed as that. Okay, so it becomes less than RMS, so velocity of gas molecules resulting in no atmosphere. Okay, so that is the case. So here that again R is true, R is true, A is true, R is true, but R is not the correct explanation of it. Rather, it should be vice versa. Okay, so the moon has no atmosphere. This is the reason is that because the escape velocity from the surface of the moon is less than that of the Earth's surface, and since the moon has no atmosphere, because the root mean square velocity of all the gas molecule is more than the escape velocity of the moon surface. Therefore, the molecules of gas escape from the surface of moon. Okay, so that is the case. A little bit, of course, your this knowledge about the subject or this particular subject area comes into the picture here. Now, Indus Valley people knew the art of overseas trade. You should know this thing, a little bit of a check on a history. This is true. This is correct. Indus Valley seals indicate prevalence of overseas trade. This is also true. And this is the correct explanation of A. So answer is 1, that both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. So the seals found at Indus Valley gives evidence of overseas trade because they have the seal. No, when somebody is putting some seal, that is only possible with the knowledge of navigation, and so that means that they knew the art of an overseas trade, right? So alcohol rather than mercury is used in a thermometer to measure a temperature of minus 600 degree. So this is 600 degree this. Okay, so this is true. Alcohol has lower freezing point than mercury. This is also true. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay, so mercury freezes at minus 39 degrees centigrade, while alcohol freezes at a point far below than minus 100 degrees centigrade. So it's minus 600 degree. Okay, so alcohol is used to measure lower temperature. Similarly, the mercury boils at I think so 357 degrees centigrade, while alcohol boils at 78 degrees centigrade. So mercury is used to measure high temperature, and alcohol has a lower freezing point than mercury. So both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation. So that is the reason that alcohol rather than mercury is used in the thermometer to measure a temperature. So by this, we are done with the concept on assertion and reason, and I hope that you are able to get this concept of assertion and reason. So let's quickly move on to the next topic, which is your cause and effect. Okay, so it's a very important topic, again oftenly asked in a lot of the exams, but let's see how this topic actually comes in the paper. So again, the cause and effect, we're going to look at the instructions. So the instructions for this question type is also different from the previous slides questions that we have done. So again, there are two statements that are given to you. It can be termed as A or B. It can be termed as 1 and 2nd, right? So we have to find out which one is cause and which one is the effect, okay? Or whether both are effects of independent causes or both are independent causes. So don't worry, okay? So we're going to learn, we're going to understand, okay? So let's see, sometimes it happens that some causes can have multiple effects, okay? For example, let's say the cause COVID, okay? It has a multiple effects. It has an impact on economy. It has impact on personal life. It has an impact on medical sector, a lot of effect on the businesses and all. Similarly, one effect can have a multiple causes, okay? For example, let's say global warming is an effect which has many causes, okay? So that is the case. So this is actually a test of this cause and effect, okay? So let's see. Let's understand the options, and that will gonna help us understand this particular question type in a better manner. So let's move on to the next slide. Let me clear the drawings here. Okay, so let's understand that in your exams, the questions will be framed in such a way that there are two statements that is given to you, and then you are given these kinds of an options, and you have to link the options, and then you need to see how we can connect those two particular statements and which option reflects the best the relation. Okay, so let's see. The very first is a very simple. If statement 1 is a cause and statement 2nd is its effect. Okay, now what happened in a cause and an effect? So for example, I've written that all the schools are closed. Statement 1. All the schools are closed for a week. Okay. There is a lot of dip in temperature. Okay. So a lot of schools, all the schools are closed for a week. There is a lot of dip in the temperature. Okay. Yeah, temperature is falling to, let's say, -7 degrees centigrade or something like that. Okay. Now, the first and the foremost thing you need to see is that, is there any link between 1 and 2? So, is all the schools are closed for a week, is this the reason or is this the reason? Is there any kind of a connect between them? So, yes, you can say that second is the cause. Okay, so 2 is the cause and 1 is the effect. Since the temperature has fallen down a lot, so that's why all the schools are closed for a week. Okay, so this is the statement, that if statement second is cause and statement 1 is effect, and the second option, if statement 1 is a cause and statement second is its effect. I hope you know what is a cause. So cause is a reason, okay, and effect is basically the result. So in case if there is any kind of a connection between two, and case if there is a connection, is 1 the cause and second the effect, or second the cause and 1 the effect? This is these two option. Okay, so you may say, like, since second happens, therefore 1 happens. Okay, or since 1 happens, therefore second happens. So this is cause and effect. Now let's understand this third option. If both the statements 1 and second are independent causes. Now this is a very funny option, which is almost a never an answer. Okay, it is just there in your exams to confuse you. Okay, so I mean, like, you cannot know that 1 is a cause of God knows what. Okay, and then again B is the cause of what, no, God knows what. Okay, so the chances are almost zero for it to be a correct answer. So you can safely outrightly reject this option. Okay, now let's see if both the statement first and seconds are effect of independent causes. Now this is important. Let's understand this. Okay, so if both 1 and second are effects of independent causes, for example, I'm saying that all the schools in the area are closed for 1 week. Okay, Mohan has reduced his weight drastically, right? So all the schools in the area are closed for 1 week. Mohan has reduced his weight drastically. Now there's no connection. Okay, so there's no connection between the two. So anyhow, your 1 and 2 cannot be the answer. Third is technically never an answer. So can we see here that maybe 1 is an effect of independent causes? So all the schools in the area are closed for 1 week. So maybe because of the winter vacation, okay, because of summer holidays, maybe XYZ reason. Okay, now Mohan has reduced his weight drastically. This is also the effect. The cause maybe he has stopped eating food, he's going on crash diet, he's going to gym, he's getting fitness freak. Okay, so all of this. Okay, so this is actually this option, that both the statement 1 and seconds are effect of independent causes. That is, there is no connect between the two. Now let's see the fifth one. If both the statement 1 and second are effects of common cause. For example, again, I'll help you understand this particular option with the help of an example. So statement 1 says that all the trains have been rescheduled for later days. Okay, all the flights have been rescheduled for later days. Okay, now this we can say, now this is just a tentative example, so don't start finding the flaws. The idea is to make you understand this particular option type. Now, so we can say this thing in a safer mode, that yes, this can be an effect of common cause. So a common cause maybe can be an inclement weather conditions. Okay, so because of which the train has to be rescheduled and the flights again have to be rescheduled. So this is when there is a common cause and both 1 and second are effects of that particular common cause. Okay, so at one glance this topic may look difficult to you, but believe me, this topic is not that difficult. With a good amount of the practice, you'll be able to definitely perform good in your this topic of verbal reasoning. But yes, just like other verbal topics, it do require a practice. So you can pause the video and you can read it, and then you can look for the answers. So let's see here. Now, there is an unprecedented increase in the number of young unemployed in comparison to previous year. Just a second, okay? So, there is an unprecedented increase in the number of young unemployed in comparison to previous year. A large number of candidates submitted applications against an advertisement for the post of a manager issued by a bank. Now, first of all, the first and the foremost thing that you need to see is that in case if there is a far-fetched relation also. So, is there any relation? So, yeah, you can say that one is a cause and second is the effect. So, the answer is your option one, that one is cause and second is your effect. Now, why the second is an effect and why one is a cause? There is an unprecedented increase in a number of young unemployed. So, a large number of young people who are unemployed, as a result of which a large number of candidates submitted applications against an advertisement for the post of a manager issued by a bank. So we can safely say that one is the cause and second is the effect of it. So first of all, try to figure out in case if there is any kind of a relationship between one and two, because ideally the answer lies between one is the cause and second is effect, or second is the cause and one is effect. Now let's see this question. So this is a good question. All the schools, now you have to be very careful. That's why it's a part of a verbal reasoning. All the schools in the area had to be kept closed for most part of the week. Okay. Now, many parents have withdrawn their children from local schools. Is there any connection? Can we say that one is a cause that all the schools in the area had to be kept closed? That is the reason that many parents have withdrawn their children from local schools. Now, why the parents have withdrawn from local schools when all the schools in the area had to be kept closed, right? So we cannot say that one is a cause or second is the effect or second is the cause and a one is an effect. So this is not an answer. So we can say that yes, both of them are both are effects of independent causes, which was your option number 4. Okay, so both are effects of independent causes. So all the schools in the area had to be kept closed for most part of the week because of weather conditions, because of COVID-like situation. Okay, so maybe XYZ reason. So this is an effect of some cause, XYZ cause. Now, many parents have withdrawn their children from local schools because of poor infrastructure, poor faculty, not adequate academic resources. So there can be multiple causes for it. So both 1 and 2 are effects of independent causes. I hope now you understand this particular option. Now, the city observed the lowest temperature of the last decade, accompanied by heavy fog during the week. Most of the flights from the city were indefinitely delayed, causing panic among the passengers, right? Now, can we see that the city observed the lowest temperature of the last decade, accompanied by heavy fog? Now, most of the flights from the city, fine. It's not like that all the schools, local schools, so city and city were indefinitely delayed. So, can we safely say that one is a cause and second is the effect, right? So that is the case. I hope now you're able to understand this topic, but yeah, definitely it calls for more practice. So practice, okay? Let's see this one now. The school authority has decided to increase tuition fee by 30%. So the school authority is increasing tuition fee by 30% from the next academic year. The government has urged the local public to enroll all their children to schools in the area. Can we say that the government has urged? Is this the cause and that is the result that they have increased? This cannot be done, okay? This cannot be done. One cannot be the cause and second cannot be the effect. Because when the government is urging local public to enroll all their children and they increase by 30%, that means that the school authority is going against the government well, which is not the case, okay? So we can say that this is again the effect of independent cause. So the school authority has decided to increase tuition fee by 30% from next academic year because of maybe the rise in cost, maybe they are increasing some number of seats, whatever the reason, okay? They're paying on infrastructure. Now, the government has urged the local public to enroll all the children to the schools in the area, maybe because of the low literacy level at this particular area, right? So, again, we can safely say that both 1 and 2 are effects of independent causes, okay? So, I hope now you are able to understand this topic on verbal reasoning. Let's see one or two questions more for you to understand. Now, the Terminator movie franchisee has earned over $1 billion at the box office, okay? Arnold, the main lead in the movie, The Terminator, is the governor of California. Is the Terminator movie franchisee has earned because Arnold, the main lead, is the governor of California? Is there is a connection? Okay, there's not a connection here. So the Terminator movie franchisee has earned over $1 billion at the box office. So maybe there can be some XYZ reasons for it. So this is the effect. Okay. And now Arnold, the main lead in the movie, The Terminator, is the governor of California. Again, this is maybe he performed something, he was appreciated by people, he has, let's say, work on a social economic conditions or whatever. Okay. So this is again the effects of independent causes, but not a principal and immediate cause. Okay. Majority of the citizen in the locality belongs to the high income group. Okay. The sales in the local supermarket are comparatively much higher than in other localities. The sales in the local supermarket are comparatively, yes, so we can say that the one is a cause and second is a effect. Since majority of the citizens belongs to high income group, therefore the sales is higher because they consume more, they have more disposable income at their hand. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, now the last topic in the case of the verbal reasoning is related to FIJs, which is your fact, inferences, and judgment. Now, this ideally was a part of CAT exams few years down the line, but they have totally scrapped off verbal reasoning as a topic. So let's understand. But there's some of the exams like ZAT, SNAPS, and MAT. Okay, they give MAT also sometimes, CMAT also, okay, MHCT, which like this topic comes on and off. Okay, it's not like that it's been consistently coming on a particular exam, but sometimes you are definitely going to find this dreaded full terms, which is F stands for facts, I stands for inference, J stands for judgments. Okay, so before we get into the question type, let's carefully understand what are these facts, what are these inference, and what are these judgments. Okay, so now facts is basically the pieces of information that one has seen, heard, or read, and which are known matters of direct observation or existing reality. Also, fact is something which is open to verification or discovery. Okay. Now, all reported statements are facts and axioms are your facts. For example, honesty is the best policy. This is an axiom. So your axioms are generally the fact. Why? Because it is some information that is seen, heard, or read, and it is open for verification. Men is a social animal. Okay. Now, this is also one of an axiom. So let's understand in a very simple manner, probably in the next slide, I have added that particular thing, that what are the facts. Okay. Is it? I'm not this. Okay, let's understand. I thought I have kept the slide. Okay, let's understand now. Now, what is a fact? Something that can be heard, that can be seen, or that can be read. Okay, so you have heard something, you have seen something, you've read something. Okay, so that is a fact. Anything that has got a data or figure in it without any, I would say, any opinion. Okay, so without any opinion, in case if it comes with an opinion, it becomes a judgment. Okay, so data or a figure without opinion is generally your fact. Okay, the question which has this kind of a thing, somebody has said something. Okay, so somebody has said something. So something like this, okay, it always becomes your fact because it is the reported statements are facts. Okay, your axioms, your sayings generally are your facts. Okay, because again, someone has said something. Okay, this falls under this category. Okay, your universal truth, the sun rises in east. Now, this is your fact. Okay, and sixth thing I would say is that anything that can be verified, which no one can challenge, becomes your fact. Okay, so generally you can say that there are 6 parameters for any statements to be referred to as fact. That is, it can be heard, seen, or read. It has a data or a figure without any opinion. Somebody has said something in a form of a reported statements are generally your facts. Your axioms, your sayings, your universal truths are your facts. Okay, something that can be verified, but no one can challenge. Okay, so that kind of a thing becomes your fact. So remember these 6 pointers when it comes to your facts. Now let's go and understand what are the inferences. So I hope that the inference is a dreadful term, or I mean, like, you don't fear from the inferences anymore because you've done a lot of inferences in your CAT RCs. So let's understand. So the inference, any statement that is actually a conclusion about unknown on the basis of given fact. Okay, So anything that can be logically derived. So there are some facts given to you on the basis of which you logically derive something which is unknown becomes your inference. Okay. Let me give you an example here. For example, let's say, okay, I have written Priya attends all the classes. Now, this is your fact. Priya attends all the classes. This is your fact. Okay. Now, Priya is very regular when it comes to attendance. Now, this become your inference. Okay. So this is clear. Now, this is your inference. Okay. So Priya attends all classes. This is some fact which is open. This is something that you have heard, read, seen. Okay. Or you have somebody is telling you something. Okay. So that is the case. It can be verified. Now, Priya is now from the fact you derive something which is unknown. So Priya is very regular. How can you derive that because attends all the classes? So she is very regular when it comes to attendance. This becomes your inference. So in a very simple word, an inference is a conclusion about unknown on the basis of given fact. There's some fact given to you on the basis of which you logically derive something that becomes your inference. Okay. Now, again, just like a facts, there are 6 pointers to your inferences also. So any statement started with according to. So someone has said something is your fact. According to is your inference. Okay. Any statement that is in a form of a fact plus a conclusion drawn on it. Okay. So there is a fact that is given to you and on the basis of which there is a conclusion. Okay. So that becomes your inference, which is typically the definition of inference. Any statement in a form of cause and effect. Okay. So that becomes your inference. This happened because of this happened. Okay. Results of some action taken or incident taken place. So this is your inference. You need to remember this. Okay. So let's say ever since the bridge collapsed, okay, so ever since the bridge collapsed, the villagers are facing a big problem to go to town. So ever since the bridge collapsed, the villagers are facing a big problem to go to the town. Now, this is result of some action taken or incident taken place. Okay. So bridge collapse is an incident taken place. As a result, what is the result? Okay. The villagers are facing a lot of problem to go to town. Okay. So results of some action taken or incident taken place. Expectations or possibilities of something happening as a result of something else. Okay. For example, if there is an earthquake, people will be killed. Okay, so if there is an earthquake, people will be killed. So this is an expectation or possibility of something happening. Okay, if there is a possibility, okay, happening as a result of something else. So if there is earthquake, people will be killed. So this kind of the possibilities generally is your inference. Okay. Now let's see any proverb that functions on cause and effect. For example, let's say very simple. An apple a day keeps doctor away. Okay. So this is a kind of a proverb. It's a proverb that functions on cause and effect. Now, what is the cause? Is that you eat an apple a day. And what is the effect? It keeps the doctor away. Okay. So this is generally your inferences that any statement with according to, any statement in a form of fact plus a conclusion drawn on it, any statement in a form of a cause and effect, any results of some action taken or incident taken place, expectations or possibilities, or any proverb that functions as a cause and effect becomes your inference. Okay, the judgment is the easiest of all. Okay, because there's a lot of subjectivity in it, right? So judgments are basically the so judgments are basically the opinions or anticipations or intentions that imply approval or disapproval of a person. Okay, so let's, in a very simple way, let's understand what is a judgment. A statement showing approval or disapproval. It has a lot of words like it will, I will, okay, I like, I hate. Okay, it will gonna have a lot of adjectives and adverbs. This is very bad, this is very interesting. Okay, so something like this does not give the logical reasoning for the same. Whenever there is a reasoning involved in it, it kind of become an inference. Okay, so when I've given this is good, but I'm not given why this is good, then this becomes my judgment. Okay, it changes according to the perspective. So someone is saying that let's say the demonetization was a fantabulous move. So this is, but if somebody, you may go against my this particular statement. Okay, so something that actually changes according to the perspective. It is author's personal opinion. So very simple, wherever there is an opinion, okay, which has without any reason, okay, then it's a kind of approval or a disapproval. Those kind of the statement becomes your judgment. Okay, so don't worry, yaar. FIJ at one go may seem daunting at first, but it can be easily mastered again, just like the another topics of the verbal reasoning, with a lot amount of practice. And the best way to practice the FIJs is to look at the previous year CAT exams, which I got a lot of FIJs in it, right? Now let's see again. Okay, let's do a quick recap of judgment. So judgment is something that imply approval or disapproval. What a magnificent view. Okay, statement that impose compulsion using should or must. You should do it. Okay, you must do it. You should work harder. Statements that compare non-measurable things. He's the best boy in the class. So best is a subjective because it uses, maybe somebody may not like him. Okay, so statements modify the nature of attributes. You are running very slowly. So adjectives, adverbs, I already told you. Statement of prediction using will or shall. I will become. Okay, I shall become the captain of the team. So this is a opinion about a particular person, right? So all these statements, again, you need to learn all these things, that what qualifies as a fact, what qualifies as an inference, and what qualifies as a judgment, right? Now, how to solve FIJs? The very first and the foremost thing is to search for facts. So the facts, I would say, are the easiest of all. So these are the statements that cannot be changed and hence are facts. So look for the statement which have a saying something or historical event or universal truth or the daily event, something that you have seen, heard, or read, which can be verified. Okay. Do not strike out option because there is a possibility that you might have marked an inference as a fact. Okay. So always look for the options. So options always come to the savior here in the questions of FIJs. Look, the next thing is the easiest of all is to figure out the facts, then the easiest of the all is to figure out the judgment. So check the statement where someone is showing approval or disapproval or judging a situation as good or bad. Okay. And then the remaining, just see whether it qualifies as an inference or not. Check all the options with your obtained answer. The closest will be your choice. Okay. So always take the advantage of the options when it comes to the questions based on FIJs. Okay. Let's see here. Now, this is typically because I'm making you understand this particular topic on FIJs. So I've not kept options here. So let's understand these particular statement and let's see. So the minister said that, okay, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a wonderful initiative. Now, at one go, you can say that here, this it's a wonderful initiative. Okay, so at one go you may feel that it is a judgment. Okay, but you remember somebody has said something, so that is a kind of a fact. Okay, because it is open for verification. So in the sentence the keyword is minister said, which means that we are quoting someone's opinion, thereby making it verifiable. You can verify it. That's why it better qualify as a fact but not as a judgment. Now, the schools of the city have adopted the project and made plans to launch a number of programs. Okay. Now, this is a fact because the entire statement can be verified and it becomes a fact. Okay. And there's no opinion here and there's no inference, there's no cause and effect, there's no result. Okay. With various segments of the society contributing towards it, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going to be a success. Now, maybe at one go, by looking at it, you may see that the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going to be a success. Okay, this is the opinion. Okay, so at one go, you may feel that it's a judgment, but there's a one part to it. Okay, so the judgment show the approval and a disapproval, and this sentence is showing approval for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan by use of the words like success. But look at the first part of the sentence. Okay, so what is the first part of the sentence? Says that with various segments of the society contributing towards it. Okay, it is telling me the reason. Okay, remember that the judgment are basically an approval or disapproval without any reason. Okay, but when, so why you can say that how the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is going to be successful? This is the cause. Now, what is the cause? That various segments of the society contributing towards it. So various segments is coming together. This becomes a cause, as a result of which Swachh Bharat is going to be a success. Okay, so thus there is an unknown conclusion based on a known facts. Okay, or you can say that there is a cause and there is an effect. So it qualifies better as an inference, but not as a judgment. So judgment is basically without any reason. But here you have a cause. Like, why? Because every society is contributing towards it. A result, what will happen? That it will going to be a success. Okay. Now the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan will go a long way towards a cleaner opinion. Now it gives an approval, but does not give us a reason. It does not has a reason. Okay. It does not provide a reason that why it will go a long way towards. Maybe for the remaining sentences are connected, but individually as a fourth, there is no reason in it. Thus, you can safely consider it as in judgment. So the correct answer here is F, F, I, and J. I hope now this topic is clear. We'll do one more question before we're going to close this particular concept on a verbal reasoning. Now let's see this particular thing. According to all statistical indications, according to all statistical indications, so according to all, very safely you can say that according to is kind of a statement is generally is your inference. Okay, so according to all statistical indications, the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep its pace with its ambitious goals. Okay, so now this is something which is derived from something. Okay, so on the basis of the statistical indications, we have drawn a conclusion that Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep pace with its ambitious goals. So it's an inference. Okay. Now the midday meal scheme has been a significant incentive for the poor to send their little ones to school, thus establishing the vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. Okay. So at one go, you may feel that the significant incentive, it's giving the approval. So it's a judgment. Let's see whether it is an inference or not. Okay. Now, how can we say this is an inference? So it has been a significant incentive, thus establishing it is not type of a cause and effect. What is cause here? That midday meal scheme has been a significant incentive. Is this a cause? And the result is that it is a vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. So this is not a case. This is the kind of an opinion of somebody. Okay, its significant incentive is a judgment, and the vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds cannot be verified. Okay, it cannot be verified. It is just again the opinion of somebody. Okay, so that is the reason that this statement better qualifies as a judgment. So let's see, in case if we know that the first is definitely an I, so this can be easily strike off. And you don't worry much about the third because every option is saying F and F. Sorry, what happens with the cursor? Okay, so every option is saying F and F here. So third, and moreover, there is in data only about 13 million children in the age group of 6 to 14 years are out of the school. So this is just a simple data without any opinion. So this is a fact. Okay, so you need to see I here, this is J here, this is J here. So again, you have to figure out from the option number I, C, A, C, and D. Okay. So this is, I hope you are clear why this is a judgment and not an inference, because there's no cause and effect here. Okay. There's no result here. There is something which can be known. This is just typically somebody feels that it is a significant incentive because it acts as a vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. But can it be verified? Okay. It cannot be. So it's not an inference. Okay. Now, the goal of universalization of elementary education has to be a prerequisite for the evolution and development of our country. Okay, so it can be either an inference or judgment, but it has to be a prerequisite for the evolution, cannot be verified, okay, from facts. So making it as a judgment. So it has to be a prerequisite for the evolution. You cannot logically derive this thing from something which is given in the fact. Okay, so that is the reason that this is the opinion of somebody and it qualifies as a judgment. So the correct answer here is I, J, F, J. So your C is your correct answer. So with this note, we are done with the concept on a verbal reasoning. I hope you learned something from these videos, and these videos are gonna help you in your competitive exams. So all the best for your exams. In case if you have any further queries, please feel free to contact with us. We're gonna definitely revert to you. So happy learning, study hard, and all the best for your exam. Take care.